The biggest lie in modern health is that your body suddenly breaks with age. In many cases, it slowly starves from the disappearance of the natural compounds humans once used almost every single day. Compounds now missing from modern life, modern soil, and modern diets. And the frightening part is that most people do not notice the damage until the fatigue, brain fog, joint pain, poor sleep, weight gain, and silent inflammation have already taken over. Doctors often talk about symptoms, but very few people talk about what the body quietly stops receiving after the age of 20, and what it desperately struggles without after 50. Right now, millions of people wake up tired, forget names mid-sentence, lose motivation, feel stiffness in their knees, experience poor circulation in their hands and feet, or feel emotionally drained for no obvious reason. They blame stress. They blame aging. Sometimes they even blame themselves. But researchers studying traditional medicine, plant chemistry, and cellular aging have discovered something deeply unsettling. Some of the most powerful healing compounds on Earth were never created inside laboratories. They were growing naturally around human beings for centuries, before modern habits pushed them aside. And what makes this even more controversial is that several of these forgotten plants may support the body in ways many expensive wellness trends still cannot fully replicate. Not instantly like magic, not overnight, but inside the body, change can begin far faster than most people realize, because healing is rarely about forcing the body. It is usually about removing what weakens it and restoring what it recognizes. In today's video, we are going to uncover 5 forgotten medicinal plants that experts, researchers, and traditional healers have quietly respected for generations. Plants linked to better circulation, calmer inflammation, stronger memory, improved digestion, healthier aging, deeper sleep, and more stable energy. And one of them was once so valued that people used it more carefully than money. By the end of this video, you may never look at your kitchen, your morning routine, or even your understanding of aging the same way again. If you have ever felt like your body is trying to warn you about something, this video may explain why. And the 5th plant especially changes how many experts now think about inflammation and long-term health. So stay with me. Your body may have been missing something important for years. 1. The poor man's medicine doctors rarely talk about anymore. Dandelion. Most people think the body becomes weak with age, but sometimes the body is simply overloaded and never properly cleared out. That is why one of the most ignored medicinal plants in the world, dandelion, is quietly making researchers look twice at modern health habits. For centuries, traditional healers used dandelion to support the liver, digestion, and fluid balance. Today, some studies suggest its natural compounds may help support healthy inflammation responses and assist the body's natural detox pathways, and that matters more than people realize. Because when the liver becomes overwhelmed by processed foods, poor sleep, stress hormones, and constant inflammation, the body often sends quiet warning signs first. Brain fog, bloating, low energy, heavy legs, puffy skin, sluggish mornings. The strange part is that many people normalize these symptoms for years. Imagine 2 people waking up every morning tired. One reaches for more caffeine. The other slowly changes how their body processes stress, hydration, and nutrition. A few weeks later, one feels dependent. The other feels lighter, calmer, clearer. That difference matters, and experts say the body responds best to consistency, not extremes. A simple cup of dandelion tea after meals may help support digestion and hydration. Adding bitter greens regularly may also help the body regulate appetite naturally, and improving sleep often strengthens the body's overnight repair systems even more. But here is the mistake many people make. They wait until exhaustion becomes serious before paying attention to small daily symptoms. The body whispers long before it screams. Have you ever ignored a small health warning sign that later became a bigger problem? Because the next plant on this list was once used by monks and healers who believed it could sharpen the mind itself. 2. The ancient brain plant that modern life forgot, Gotu Kola. Most people think mental exhaustion comes from working too hard, but sometimes the brain is struggling because it never truly slows down long enough to repair itself. That is why Gotu Kola has quietly remained one of the most respected plants in traditional wellness practices for centuries. Researchers studying cognitive health and circulation have become interested in compounds inside Gotu Kola that may support blood flow, mental clarity, and stress regulation, not because it boosts the brain like a stimulant, but because it may help calm the overload that slowly drains it, and that changes everything. Most people spend years training their nervous system to stay alert every second. Notifications, noise, stress, poor sleep, constant anticipation. The brain never feels safe enough to recover. Over time, memory becomes slower. Focus becomes fragmented. Even simple decisions feel heavier. The body adapts to chaos faster than people realize. Imagine one person waking up and instantly flooding their brain with stimulation. Phone, news, caffeine, anxiety. Their mind stays scattered all day. Now imagine another person creating small moments of calm. Better sleep, slower breathing, herbal tea, less mental overload. Weeks later, they feel sharper without needing constant stimulation. That contrast is not imaginary. Many experts now believe mental clarity depends as much on recovery as productivity. A warm cup of Gotu Kola tea in the evening may support relaxation and mental balance. Daily walks without constant screen exposure may also help reset the nervous system naturally. And consistent sleep schedules often improve memory far more than people expect. But here's the mistake many people make. They treat exhaustion with more stimulation instead of asking why the brain feels exhausted in the first place. The nervous system remembers everything. What habit drains your mental energy the fastest right now? Because the next forgotten plant was once considered so valuable for wound healing and inflammation that people carried it while traveling long distances. 3. The backyard leaf. That may calm inflammation better than most people realize. Plantain leaf. Most people think inflammation always feels dramatic. But some of the most dangerous inflammation in the body feels almost invisible at first. That is why plantain leaf has quietly survived in traditional healing practices for generations. Researchers studying natural plant compounds have found that plantain leaf contains substances linked to skin repair, digestive support, and healthy inflammatory responses, and what makes this interesting is not just the plant itself, but what it reveals about the modern body. Humans were never designed for constant irritation, processed food, chronic stress, poor sleep, endless stimulation. The body stays in a low-level defensive state for years, and eventually, that hidden tension starts appearing as fatigue, gut discomfort, skin sensitivity, brain fog, or stiffness people casually call normal aging. But the body keeps records. You can feel it when energy crashes become routine, when sleep no longer feels restorative, when small discomforts slowly become daily patterns. Most people respond by pushing harder, ignoring signals their body has repeated for months. That is where awareness changes everything. Even simple habits like eating more whole foods, improving hydration, reducing ultra-processed meals, and using calming herbal support may help the body regulate stress responses more effectively over time. And plantain leaf tea has long been used traditionally as part of that calming approach. The mistake is waiting for severe symptoms before respecting early warning signs. Small inflammation repeated daily becomes a bigger problem later. What subtle symptom has your body been trying to warn you about recently? Because the next plant on this list was once guarded so carefully that some cultures believed it restored strength faster than rest itself. 4. The bitter root. Traditional healers protected for centuries, ashwagandha. Most people think exhaustion is normal adulthood. But being constantly tired is not a badge of honor. It is often a biological warning sign people have been trained to ignore. That is why ashwagandha continues to attract attention from researchers studying stress, sleep, and hormonal balance. The modern world rewards overstimulation, constant work, constant noise, constant pressure. Humans celebrate burnout as discipline, then wonder why anxiety, poor sleep, low motivation, and emotional fatigue keep rising. The nervous system was never designed to stay in survival mode every hour of the day, and eventually, the body adapts to stress in dangerous ways. Studies on ashwagandha suggest its compounds may help support the body's stress response system, especially cortisol regulation and sleep quality. Not by forcing the body to perform harder, but by helping it recover better. That difference matters more than people realize. Many people spend years trying to push through exhaustion instead of asking why their body feels depleted in the first place. They normalize brain fog, irritability, poor focus, low energy after waking up, but the body keeps score quietly. At some point, humans need to wake up. Health is not built by surviving unhealthy routines longer than everyone else. Sometimes the strongest thing a person can do is slow down long enough to repair. A consistent sleep schedule may support hormone balance more than expensive trends. Reducing late-night stimulation often helps the nervous system recover naturally, and calming daily stress patterns may improve energy more effectively than constant caffeine dependence. Ashwagandha is often used traditionally as part of that recovery-focused approach. The mistake is believing the body has unlimited tolerance for stress simply because symptoms arrive slowly. Slow damage is still damage. What habit do you think drains modern humans the most today? And the final plant on this list may completely change how you think about circulation, blood sugar, and long-term aging. Most people walk past it without realizing what it contains. Stay until the end, because this last one connects almost everything we discussed today. In 5, the natural blood flow plant. Hidden in plain sight, Moringa. Most people think aging begins when wrinkles appear, but for many humans, aging starts silently when circulation, blood sugar balance, and cellular recovery slowly begin to weaken. That is why Moringa has become one of the most studied traditional plants in modern nutritional research. Moringa contains natural compounds linked to antioxidant support, healthy inflammation responses, and nutritional balance. And what makes this important is not hype, it is biology. The body depends on stable blood flow, oxygen delivery, and nutrient transport every second. When those systems become strained by processed foods, chronic stress, poor sleep, and inactivity, humans often experience fatigue, slower thinking, energy crashes, and gradual physical decline long before serious symptoms appear. The dangerous part is how normal this has become. Many people now believe low energy is simply adulthood. Brain fog becomes routine. Poor sleep becomes expected. Dependency on sugar and caffeine becomes daily survival. But the body was never designed to operate in constant recovery debt, and eventually, the system responds. That is why consistent nutrition matters more than temporary motivation. Adding nutrient-dense whole foods regularly may help support long-term energy stability. Daily movement improves circulation more than most people realize. Better hydration often helps the brain and muscles function more efficiently, and Moringa has traditionally been used as part of that nourishment-focused lifestyle. The mistake is searching for instant fixes while ignoring the daily habits creating the damage. The body responds to patterns, not promises. Which daily habit do you think affects long-term health the most right now? And once you understand how these forgotten plants connect to stress, inflammation, sleep, circulation, and recovery together, you start realizing the body may not be failing nearly as much as modern life is exhausting it. Here is the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. Modern humans are surrounded by more health information than ever before, yet many people feel more exhausted, inflamed, distracted, and disconnected from their bodies than previous generations ever did. Not because the human body suddenly became weaker, but because many people stop listening to the quiet signals the body gives long before serious problems appear. Sometimes real health is not about chasing the newest trend, it is about returning to simple habits the body has recognized for centuries. Small daily choices become long-term biology. If any part of this video connected with your experience, share it in the comments. I genuinely read them, and I love hearing how different people are improving their health naturally and consistently. Your story may also help someone else feel less alone in their journey, and if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and stay with the Human Upgrade, because the next video may completely change the way you think about inflammation, sleep, and the hidden habits silently aging the body every day.